This is Patriot News in 5. This is Jake and Toa with your news today.
Today we will examine multiple events and people that were important to the American Revolution.
Breaking news. Just a couple hours ago, another rebellious act was committed in the Boston Harbor. A group of men boarded 3 different ships that were holding tea. After boarding, the group of men, elaborately disguised as Mohawk Indians, dumped all 342 chests of tea into the harbor. As of now, their motives are clear. The so-called Indians wanted to protest the Tea Act. The act allowed tea to be directly imported to North America and the right to export tea from Britain with no tax. I'm Jake. More on this tea party as more information comes. Toa?
Thanks, Jake. What started as snowballs and fists being thrown soon ended with 5 colonists being dead from shots fired from the British soldiers. Taking place in Boston on March 5, 1770, colonists approached British soldiers. Some question their motives, and all they can really say is that colonists believed they were being treated unfairly. This comes from the Townshend Act. Colonists believed it was unfair to be forced to pay more money than needed when buying things like paper, glass, and tea. Americans must now look back at this event and unite themselves against the British.
New information about a man that helped in the Revolution. This information brings us to a man named John Hancock. As most people know, when his uncle died, Hancock inherited the money, making him a very wealthy man. When the Revolution started, Hancock used his wealth to aid our Continental Army in the war. Also, John Hancock was the president of the Congress when the Declaration of Independence was adopted and signed. When Hancock signed it, he made sure that he signed his name large and clear so that King George could read it without his spectacles. Now to Toa with the news story of a very influential.
Thanks, Jake. The Battle of Trenton has just taken place as George Washington and his army have crossed the Delaware River in pursuit of taking over the town of Trenton, held by Hessian British forces. By long, hard perseverance, General Washington's soldiers, they were able to take the Hessian British forces by surprise. They won the battle, as the opposing soldiers had just came out of a night of long Christmas festivities. With the fall of Fort Washington, there is no doubt that hope is what we need in the seemingly everlasting world.
I agree, Toa. Hope is what we need. But for this man, hope cannot keep him on our side. This man once rallied the troops and gave them hope in battles. Alas, all good things must come to an end. This man is one of the most infamous traitors in America. His name, Benedict Arnold. Arnold partnered with Ethan Allen to capture the garrison at Fort Ticonderoga. Also, later he successfully predicted the British General Guy Carleton would sail his fleet down Lake Champlain. So he constructed a flotilla to delay the attack, saving potential disaster for the colonies.
Another very influential person is from Virginia. He is a wealthy businessman considered to be one of the richest from the colony. His name is George Mason. Coming from Virginia, he was also elected to the House of Burgesses for Virginia. He drafted the framework for the Constitution. He named them the Declaration of Rights. Also, George Mason fought for the ratification or the signing of the Declaration of Independence. As you can see, he played a very important part in getting the colonists to where they are today. Back to Jake.
Justin, the British found out about the Boston Tea Party and have issued 4 laws as punishment. The Boston Port Act closed the Boston port until we pay for all the destroyed tea. The Massachusetts Government Act is a law that takes away the Massachusetts government power. The Administration of Justice Act says that if any accused royal official could not have a fair trial, the trial would be held in Britain. Last, the Quartering Act allowed British soldiers to be housed in any unoccupied buildings. Toa?
Next is a very important man, Benjamin Franklin. He played a very important part in the American Revolution. Franklin helped come up with the ideas and even helped draft the Constitution that helped gain our freedom from England. He was also elected as one of the representatives for Pennsylvania. While in England, Franklin helped testify against the Stamp Act. Benjamin Franklin also enlisted the French army's help. He did this by negotiating the Treaty of Paris, as he was very popular in France. Without the French army's help, one must wonder how we are ever going to win them.
Another man helping the Treaty of Paris was a man named John Jay. As a young man, Jay was a loyalist, though as the revolution progressed, Jay got different views on the British and eventually switched to patriot. Both John Jay and Benjamin Franklin played a big part in getting the Treaty of Paris to take place. This for sure will bring an end to the Revolutionary War. He was also elected to represent in the First and Second Continental Congress. He was also the president of the Continental Congress from 1778 to 1779.
Before you go, why aren't there any knock-knock jokes about America?
Why?
Because freedom rings.
Thanks for coming out to watch Patriot News in 5. See you next time.